Hey folks, the Desert Artist here. I am back and am showing you where I'm at. I've gone in a direction I didn't think I was going to go, and things were falling apart and there wasn't any stability in them, and it's kind of like bracketing down our reality, in the decision making. What is the foundation that holds us all together, and to maintain that branch of positivity that you try to emulate, the positivity you are. So I went to this one point here where I had his arms here that are maneuverable and can be manipulated in a way that adds more movement, because I had more movement before in the face. So I've gotten that kind of down to a point where it looks like it's a point that can be finished. I do have still a couple points of attachment left, which I can add stuff, because that's basically all we're doing, is we are adding what fits. Because a lot of times things won't fit together and you end up wiring it together like this here. I just wired this together temporarily so that I would have a direction that I wanted to go. Once I was able to find that direction, then I was able to maneuver it into a way. I don't know where it's going to go yet. So, when you branch it down, you don't know where you're going to go, but you want to have options. Okay? Here I have a closed end option, which I could just end it here, or it's another option where I could have another attachment on the end here to give it more color. Because in the end, that's what we're looking for, is just more things that provide it with color. You don't know where they're going to go. You don't know what it's going to end up being until you come to the end of it. And that's eventually what you're looking to do, is you're looking to end one of the branches you've started, because the deeper that you go into making the piece of art, the more complexity it has to have. And you don't know what you're going to get, because, well, you guys didn't know what you were going to get, yet neither did I. So here we are, and we're just trying to give it as much complexity as we can to make it a character. And how deep of a character do we want to portray it to be? Well, it depends on the amount of pieces of art that you have within it, because it is all single individual pieces of art that we have been completing together throughout this video series. Alright, we were working on the hat. Well, then we had to work on the face, and the face didn't end up going. I had to stretch it out. It didn't look right, and so I had to add this piece here, and I had to add this piece here, and then I added this thing here because I had to end the bolt somehow, otherwise it was just ending as a bolt. So I'm starting to focus down on the face now from the point of end, which is the hat. Now we're building more foundation to bring it down to a point of junction here. Once we understand where the point of junction is at, which we have the movability here and the stability here. So we're looking at breaking down the stability into like a spiral, I don't know what this is going to be over here. All I know is that the clippers are a good end point. Yet there's a bolt that can provide as an attachment for something else. I have this contraption here that I have put on the front with kind of a bunch of gears that I was able to put together. I moved the carburetor from up here on the shoulder area to provide a washer for thickness as an end point, obviously, because I have to bracket it down into whatever pieces I can get to be end points, right? I have to make them out of wire and shape them or do something with them. And like here's a good end point right here, is these swivels, right? So these are swivels. Obviously what they're made from is obvious, but to me they're a swivel and an end point, which provides for a point of interest, because when we go with a point of interest we have to deflect upon that to get another end point if one is so desired, to focus the intent from the deviation. Like here is the point I wanted to focus in on, was his eyes, because they are movable and posable. Okay, so because the eyes are movable and posable, he can be looking in different directions. Okay, and that is a main focus of intent. And then breaking it down, as you can see, I don't know what you're going to end up wanting, right? We are down at a very flimsy point here. We can't connect anything to this, so it's a good end point. And then as a focal point, we have the mouth area and then the face, which provides for another hinge point. And we can always use something else as an attachment for the nose here. But we don't want to get too froggy with all of that, right? Because it's only held together on the back with the strength of a string of copper wire. So the only thing we could do here is we could attach this up here so that would change the focal to bringing it out to an endpoint, but increase stability while increasing creativity. So we have to look for good stable points of contact and then make them, okay? We do have a good stable point of contact up here on the hat. We have the bolt here, and then we have another one over here on this side, and we might be able to get something to work in as a frame to the face. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a point that will connect these 2 points together and make them into something. And it depends, we have to find a pair. So we have to find a pair of things that will fit here and here, whether we have to make them or we can use an item that we have. Now we have to examine whether this is worthy of our time to change and focus on this, Or do we do something else? Because we have a lot of things. We have a lot of things to get done, right? So we are looking for things to attach. Okay? It doesn't matter. It just has to be stable, and it has to have an intent of focus. Remember, we still have this attachment back here, which I was able to attach as a swivel. And then it's got the swivel inside here, which is very cool. And then we have this workability here. And these are focal points of stress, so they're fairly tight and are fully movable depending on what you want it to do. These are, once again, we're focusing on things that will work. Okay? That's how we drive the creativity, is just finding the things that will work. See, now here's where we find an end piece, and we're working back towards the foundation. So we have an end piece, and we need to find the attachment. There's always a place to attach something. Now we have to figure out how to attach it somehow to here. That's an end piece. Nothing can be done with that but attachment. Always want to try to find your focal end points, because in eventuality that's what you're looking for, is your end points, just like that. Okay? It doesn't matter. You're always looking for your end points. You're always looking to connect a piece of focus. That's your intent. Okay? There's another one right there. That's because a good end point right there. It's an attachment, and it's an endpoint, and it also serves as a point of an attachment. You always want to keep your focal endpoints close to you. Like that. That's a good focal endpoint right there. You got one point of attachment. Endpoint. How to attach that with an attachment. The focal endpoint. Right? Yeah. How to attach it? Good question. That's a wire wrap endpoint attachment. For like up in here, where I got his whiskers. Well, right now they're whiskers. Or a scarf. I don't know yet. Right now they're an endpoint. And remember, the sooner the endpoint, the better. Wrapped. You see that? Now it's an endpoint. Right? So now he is totally, I don't know what this is, but it looks like it goes there. Right? Huh? So this is how we come to a focal endpoint. We have the clippers over here, right? Remember, we have the clippers. Now we have them all movable. Now, possibilities. Never rule them out. Never be afraid to take apart your intent, because your intent is part of your focus, your drive. You always already know what the possibilities are now that you have applied them. They are in your memory banks. You will find them. And they will come back and they will haunt you. Now we're starting to get a little stringy, okay? We're getting a lot of joint movement, which is okay for the foundation. But we need to start work it at focusing in on an intent. And in order to focus onto the intent, we have to, in focus, broaden the possibilities of what could exist if we build more on the foundation and the strength of keeping it in the position where it needs to stay, now that we have changed our focus into going in a certain direction. Now we have a point of contact right here. It's a swivel, can be tightened down. It can also be an end point, but also serves as an attachment pivot point, plus bonus up here. Okay, so we have tightened up the foundation where it's swivelly, yet movably, yet can be twisted to alter what we need, if so be it. But we want to tighten it down, because we've gone with our focus and intent, right? Look at that, we found it. So I was able to attach this 90, which fits into here and swivels almost perfect to whatever it needs to be, right? So we're getting control of the posing we're able to do, right? We have the swivel, we have the mobility, we have the lift, and we have the twist, we have the finale. You can see the spiral that it is kind of forming right now, right? We have this, which provides for a nice focal point. Can you do a face? Something to attach to here that would be a wood carving or something really cool. Provides a good 4-point transition for a blade of a fan. or a computer board, whatever happens to fit. Remember, we're looking at what possibilities exist within our realm right now. All right, so our strength is we're dividing from gravity right now. As it turns all the way around, okay, it falls apart here. So we need to strengthen our tie between these two, but yet it remains mobile. Okay? So we have to tie a strength back here at the foundation. Okay? Because here's what we want. We have to go with the direction. How much direction do we want until we get to our focal point, which appears to be up here? Okay? And we have to go with what we need to do first. Somehow we need to tie, because this is slippery right here. So that's a main course in which we need to tie to here. Once we tie to here with an attachment device to keep it from falling apart, right? So we have an attachment point here, and we have an attachment point here on which we can attach something. Now whatever we want to attach is whatever we can get to fit, right? Right. I was wanting to use this up here at the magnifying glass for somebody up there. That's what I wanted to use that for. So we're going to have to go back to stability and strength. Here, can't rely on the spring of too much hanging on here and helping here. Putting a stressor on this. I already don't like it kind of being in there. If it breaks, then it has to go somewhere else. Now I do like the possibility of this. I don't know if I'll be able to swing anything like that. I don't know. kind of iffy. But I do like this. And it seems to fit on there okay. Now I just need to find something as a plate. Okay, take the pictures and it needs to be something that cannot be sloppy in here. So it has to be tight and right so this thing can spin freely. That's part of the focus. Okay. Now this is interesting here. This gives a handle to the end of this that can provide as a tightening to cinch something up there to provide for stability and strength, right? Because that's always what we're looking for, is something with stability and strength. And that doesn't do it there. It needs to be something broader. Almost. That looks like it might almost work. Provides for a swivel. I might be getting a little froggy on that. It's a lot of weight before actually finding out what we want to do with it. Remember, there's always another way to attach something that may work better. And provide for a lot more strength. That didn't work.